Good evening, everybody. It's after work. It's about 5:20 in the evening. I got held over a little late today. I had a couple more episodes I was going to upload, but I dropped my cell phone and lost the SD card because the back popped off. So I lost all my ebooks, all my video files, and I had to run out and buy a new card, which is like stupidly expensive. I went to the Verizon store. I really shouldn't have, and they charged me like $70 for a 32 gig memory card, which like should really only cost like $5 in reality. You know, I had Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff in the meantime, and I didn't really do anything for any of that stuff. I just kind of kept to my daily routine. You know, played some video games, you know, did my usual hangout spots and all that stuff. I worked on New Year's. That was kind of fun. Got to travel around and see a couple of people. And a new session has started in school. I'm taking that hundreds level social sciences class that has no textbooks, and now that I've looked through the syllabus, I've confirmed that yes, indeed, that is a fluff class. Not very challenging reading, a couple of 250 word discussion assignments here or there. Really, you know, really the customary sort of waste of time and money I've come to expect from pursuing a higher education. And then the other class is that 500s level nursing class, healthcare policy and ethics, and that looks like a pretty easy class too, really. The writing assignments are again very short, so just 250 words for most of them. And the final project is kind of interesting. We have to write either like a letter to the editor or a letter to somebody who's like a mover and shaker in healthcare policy to offer my services in some regard. So you know, that could be interesting, you know, research some different issues. And the director of my nursing school, her advice to us when we graduated was to, you know, take a year or so to settle into the job and then start worrying about going back to school and getting involved in stuff, but to just focus on the job at first. And 3 or 4 years in, I've done that, and time to figure out what's next. I've already done the going back, you know, I'm already in the process of doing the going back to school part, and the other part is getting involved in something. And it's hard to really find time to get involved in anything because, you know, working a full-time schedule, when I'm done with that, I don't really want to go and do anything else, really. But if I find the right cause to get involved in, you know, it doesn't have to be something that I have to do in person. It can be something I can do from home, you know, writing or uploading videos to YouTube or something of that nature. The class is kind of a mixed bag of students pursuing different master's degree tracks. There are some other clinical nurse leadership students in there, and there's some healthcare administration students in there, and some APRN students in there. So it's kind of a grab bag of different people. Smaller class. I think I thoroughly weirded everybody out with my introductory post explaining who I am and what I'm interested in, and got a lot of responses to my initial post from people who were curious about some of my more esoteric interests, which gave me an opportunity to explain them in some detail. So I'm sure I've either weirded out or alienated at least half the class, but that's fine with me, because as long as the teacher isn't one of those people, then that's fine. I've read through most of the textbooks already. One of them is really just a collection of essays, a 700-page collection of essays about healthcare policy in the United States. And it really starts off right from the beginning. Like if you were to step off of a spaceship and somebody would need to explain to you how healthcare policy and legislature works in the United States, this book would pretty much cover it. And then a lot of the essays are really focused towards encouraging nurses who are pursuing advanced degrees to get involved in policy and to use their advanced degree in nursing not just to make more money and occupy higher positions, but to actually get involved in the future of the profession and stuff like that. And those are issues that are really interesting to them. You know, part of what makes the nursing profession so interesting to me is you know, that it's in transition right now. There's a lot of you know, big issues and major problems going on in healthcare right now, and nurses are really in a position to do something about it. So that's pretty interesting. And that particular textbook does give a lot of, ideas on how to get involved and things to keep in mind, and I don't know, just a whole lot of different info. But some of it reads like it's like coaching for a young debutante. Like how your clothing is very important, and how to include people in group discussions and things like that, and how to conduct yourself at political events and things like that. There's a really funny paragraph on the importance of not employing sexual body language, as it tends to exclude people or single people out. I thought that was pretty funny. Considering how the majority of the people reading the textbook are going to be 45 to 50-year-old white women with children. So I don't know. I thought that's kind of funny. And then the ethics book. The ethics book had some interesting case studies in it and stuff, but it didn't really look very challenging. I mean, it looked like a lot better than what goes on in the bioethics class, which I did sample a little bit of. Because I was excused from it because I took a 100s level philosophy and social ethics class, so somehow the registrar decided that meant I didn't have to take a 200s level bioethics class. I'm not complaining, that's fine. But yeah, the class doesn't really look to be that challenging. There's no like big research projects or anything like there was in health assessment class, so I think I'm in for a pretty easy semester, and then we'll see how the nursing theory class next semester is. But what else is going on? My caseload is kind of sitting pretty even at 11 patients, most of whom are relatively stable. Haven't had to do too many extra or emergent visits lately. Everybody's on a pretty even keel, so that's good to see. I'm more accustomed to putting out fires and responding to disasters, so it's kind of an adjustment getting used to keeping everybody comfortable and happy and nothing really too serious going on, except for the whole dying thing, but aside from that. So yeah, I don't know, not too much else going on. Pretty uneventful holiday, pretty boring classes. I've got assignments due on Sunday, but the school courseware is going to be down, so I'm not going to be able to submit them. By the time I get home, I'm not going to be able to log on, and it's going to stay off all weekend, so I'm going to have to find some time to work on it tonight. Or the first assignment in this this social sciences class is to like write about the Big Bang and like the nature of science and whether or not science is compatible with the Catholic intellectual tradition and bullshit like that. So, as tolerant as the instructors are of, why is this guy going 40 on the highway? As tolerant as the instructors are of people who believe or think differently from the institutional focus of the school, the classes are really structured in kind of an asinine way. I mean, it's okay for people to not believe, the things that the Catholic Church believes, as long as they can show that they're thinking critically and they're applying their reasoning and stuff. That's really what they're looking for. But the result is that the classes are really kind of shallow, and I'm talking about the 100s level core curriculum classes here, not the nursing classes, but these 100s level gen eds that they're making everybody take are really just a phenomenal waste of time. But I hate applying for things, and these credits won't transfer anywhere. I'm already like $6,000 in the hole with these folks, so I might as well see it through. I've kind of been like thinking about what to do next after I get this master's, and probably I should continue to the same advice as when I graduated from nursing school in the first place, which is to settle into a new role, find a new position, and start working in my new role as a clinical nurse leader before I worry about what to do next. But if I pick something not related to nursing, then maybe I could just like jump ahead and do that right away just for fun. And I've been thinking more and more about the applied psychology masters with organizational and institutional psychology focus. And that might be something I do just for shits and giggles. Because it just seems like a generally useful thing. And somebody was asking me what I would get if I did that. If I go back to school and get a master's in applied psych and organizational institutional psychology, what does that really get me? And what I told them was that it would help me cope with working with people a little better, maybe. Especially in the position of having to supervise people and then deal with office politics and stuff like that. I thought maybe there's a possibility it would make me more successful at doing those things and manipulating situations to my advantage and stuff like that, which, although I'm a talented amateur at, I hardly have a degree in it. So maybe having a degree in it would be something that would benefit me. I was out sick a couple of days around the holidays. This is usually the time of year where I get a couple of respiratory infections here or there. And it was really nice getting to look back and read the notes of the other nurses that saw my patients in my absence, because they would have like another take on things. They would see things a little bit differently, implement some changes that I didn't think of, and it's really nice to have that. And it almost makes me think that it would be better in some cases. I mean, maybe it would be better for me if I wasn't the only person seeing those particular patients. But there's always opportunities for other people to go and see them. When people are on vacation or they're sick, or if I have a really busy day and I've got too many visits scheduled, sometimes I can hand one of them off to one of the per diem nurses. I've heard some of my coworkers say that they would prefer that no one else see their patients but them, and I guess they're all a lot more experienced than I am, and I can see where they're coming from. But I like the idea of having a second pair of eyes look over the same situation that I'm looking over, especially when they're people that I respect a great deal and admire, as has been the case lately. So that's really nice. Well, I'm almost home now. I think I'll cut it off here. Just a little catching up, I don't know how long it's been since I uploaded one of these. I think it's been a little while. Yeah, I guess I'll stop it there. So I'll catch up with you another time, and hopefully by then something interesting will have happened. And if not, then I'll just ramble on about nothing for 15 or 20 minutes, as I tend to do. And that's it. I'll see you next time.